Heaven is very simple to get into because God made it so that everybody can. He sent somebody to pay your debt 2,000 years ago. The issue is getting over that brain that I'm a smart person, I know what I know, and I know more than God.
If heaven is an amazing place where, everything is perfect and you meet your old family members and all your dreams come true, why is everyone so afraid to die? Why is the fear of death so strong in all of us?
Because they're not sure how to get to heaven. So it's kind of like everyone knows a billionaire's life is probably amazing, but not everyone knows how to stack a billy, right? So in the same stroke, it's like a lot of people fear death because we're spiritual beings. We know that there's an end somewhere. Like whether we want to, biblically speaking, it says we are without excuse, that we know, whether it's through creation, whether it's through consciousness, whether it's through Christ. They call it the 3 C's, or I call it the 3 C's. And basically, people know, they just don't know how to get there. They're just hoping. A lot of people are kind of riding this whim, like, I hope I can get there. I'll just try my best, like, and even like Muslims say that, inshallah, right? Which means God willing, right? So a lot of people have that mindset of inshallah, in God's will, God willing, if God wills it. But it's like, no, God gave us literally the blueprint, and it's Jesus. But again, people are, because of big brain, because whether it's cultural things, whether it's, just distraction even, they're like, I don't want that. It doesn't make sense to me. And it's rooted in pride and fear of them being wrong. Sometimes some people fear being wrong. A lot of people love being right. And when you prove them wrong, there's only two types of people in the Bible, truly. There's Pharisaical people who, when Jesus came to prove them wrong, they hardened their hearts. And then there's people who were like us, like who truly believe the word and go, man, like I was wrong, and they accept and they submit. There's only two types. When you look at any story in the Bible, the two thieves on the cross, one hardened and mocked Jesus and was like, you're an idiot. You're on the cross with us too. Get yourself down before you. I thought you're the king of the Jews. Like, why won't you get yourself down? And then there's another one going, man, he's on there for me. Like, and then even in Joseph, in any women caught in the act of adultery, any story, there's always one person who's like, I'm better and I'm good and I'm holier than thou. And there's always that one that's getting condemned and going, man, I deserve death. And those people ultimately meet God. So it's like when they lose all fear and all hope, including fear and all those things, they then naturally submit to God. So it's not that heaven is hard to get into. Heaven is very simple to get into because God made it so that everybody can. He sent somebody to pay your debt 2,000 years ago. The issue is getting over that brain that I'm a smart person, I know what I know, and I know more than God. So, it's rooted in ego, pride, and arrogance a lot of the time.
But then why is it also like, why do I still feel afraid even if God is in control?
Because God being in control, right? To answer your question, God being in control does not remove fear. Actually, God being in control challenges fear. So a lot of us want fear to be removed. But if you remove fear, then why would we need God? Essentially, when we have what we have, like even in the Bible, it talks about this, right? There's a time where Moses and the Israelites were getting bit by these fiery serpents. They're like venomous serpents. And essentially, Moses and the Israelites ask God, please remove the fiery serpents. But God would not remove the fiery serpents. He would establish the bronze serpent, and whosoever looked upon the bronze serpent was saved and didn't die, even if they got bit. So in the same stroke, God doesn't remove fear at times because he challenges the fear. He wants you to fight it with faith, essentially, to overcome, right? So being in control, God being in control doesn't mean that, waves won't hit the boat, basically, right? But you're anchored to something. So even though the waves hit the boat, you're not moved by it, right? So fear will hit us, sure, but we don't get shook by it. It doesn't have the same effects it does versus when you don't have God in the equation and you're moving purely by fear and not faith.
That's crazy. And as you answered that, it made me think of your earlier answer that fear is the opposite of faith.
Yeah.
And it's like if you have a fear that you're not getting into heaven, that's a lack of faith that
Yeah.
Jesus already died for your sins.
Facts.
So truly, fear is the opposite of faith. Like we keep
Yeah.
seeing that. It's so interesting.
Yeah, man.